before we say bye, I thought I would just go back to each of you and say, you're counseling a Matterport service provider. They have a Matterport Pro3 camera. They're trying to figure out how to develop business. What would you say to them, RJ?
I would say you have a fantastic tool to sell for progress via visualization. I would never deliver geometry from it. Even so, I recently did a 6,000 square foot hotel lobby with a Pro2 and a laser scanner, not a Pro3. The longest dimension inside that open lobby was out by 40 centimeters. I don't know what that is in inches, but it was out by 40 centimeters. That's half a meter almost. So over a foot longitudinally. So depending on the quality of your finishes, like if we're talking marble tile, that foot, even to use for rough estimates, could be a huge dollar value on a project. Now, if we're talking just gyprock and carpet, who cares? An extra foot here and there. But that would kind of be my premise. If I'm happy to say within a foot, okay, I'm happy within a foot. If we want to talk inches, I would not even risk it.
Sylvia?
I would say if somebody wants to get into or start a business where they can use the Matterport as a platform and the Matterport 3 or 2 as a tool, and they don't want to do residential because it might be small box and small spaces, I would recommend those people to pair with a laser scanning provider, and maybe they can tag along on every single job, and they can provide that supplemental data that is needed for creating drawings, for creating models. I think that would be a great idea to maybe to take into account.
In the case of RC Monkeys in Atlanta, do you ever outsource shooting Matterport on a job while you're using a higher end scanner?
We do not, because most of our jobs are not local. We do historic buildings. So it requires travel. Sometimes the cost for travel can be higher than the cost for the service. If we were to do jobs locally, yes. But since we're traveling sometimes to remote places, it might take 2 days to get back and forth and only 4 hours to capture. So that way we just have our camera in the backpack and we capture the space while we're over there.
John, you're talking to a Matterport service provider. Got a Pro3. What do you tell them?
I would say, if you have a Sawzall, don't use it for fine carpentry. Use the appropriate tool for the appropriate job. If you're wanting to get into something that maybe is beyond the imagery, the strength of the Matterport, maybe it's time to consider the appropriate tool, something that's a little more suited for what you're trying to get into. But use it for its strength, find the use cases that it's best at, and then I like partnering with folks, so if you can find maybe a laser scanning service provider, and like Sylvia said, if you can work alongside them, that's a great way to learn, and you don't have to buy a laser scanner if you want to get into that. You can rent one and see, but you may find out that the laser scanning provider that doesn't have a Matterport is going to drag you along on jobs, and you can earn some business that way too. So.